Hey, what is up guys? So, the new Dark Sanctuary, everyone's been talking about, they want to see it in action. Well guys, I got a bunch of replays from a bunch of different versions of the deck to share with you guys, and you guys can let me know what you think of the deck now that you've seen it in action after some of these replays. But thanks all you guys for sending in these replays. This first one was from Teriyaki over here. I think it's actually a pretty cool replay. The other guy's playing some Dark Lords. Kind of cool to see this deck kind of still see some relevancy. Just because, you know, the Dark Lords, they have pretty decent effects. But they were a prize card that, you know, not necessarily saw very much play. Heck, Blood Memphis saw little play in the competitive scene. But, you know, sometimes, you never know. The Blood Memphis could come in handy in certain scenarios. But, for the most part, the guy kind of bricked, let's be honest here. But the thing is that I want to share with you guys is with the combo that is actually pulled off here. So, because you're going to be running a lot of traps in this deck, just to not only be able to search out and protect your stuff a little bit easier, but the thing is, if you mix the Burgerstomas over in the deck, you have a lot of potential just to activate a card, then activate another card, activate another card, because with Dark Sanctuary, it really helps out this deck, because one problem with Final, or the Destiny board, the Death deck, the problem with the deck was that it completely clogged your back row up, and then after that, like, once one thing went away, you would essentially lose. Now, a lot of people were like, well, Dark Sanctuary doesn't protect the cards. That's not actually super, devastating when they actually get rid of Dark Sanctuary. The thing is, because they are treated as monsters, and they can't be attacked, they are still on the board. So you can actually still win, even when this card goes away, or heck, even when the other cards go away, just because that they are still actually there. So, again, you'll see you guys in action, you know, the final Destiny board. The guy actually pulls off a Despair Uranus over here, and Uranus has a pretty decent effect. So, or I should say Uranus. But you guys will make fun of it regardless, I know you're 12. But anyways, so you can declare, your opponent declares one type. So there's a lot of cards that you can kind of, see, what cards you want to go ahead and grab. You can get a continuous spell or a continuous trap, and then you get to go ahead and set it. Whatever type, and then it also gains extra attack. So like, you're going to gain a lot of extra free attack from the effect of Uranus, but in addition to that, you also have the Destiny board as a win condition. So you can see the win condition was still there, and he pulled off a Uranus, and he also got Solemn Warning multiple times. So you can see just how good the deck can technically be in the right hands. And anyways, I got some more replays. There's a lot of cheeky ones over here. I want to show this one. Well, this one's really fast. Let's just get this one out of the way, and we'll go ahead and just kind of play all the other replays. At first, I was like, wow, what a stacked deck, dude. He drew 3 Dark Magicians, but then I was like, wait, he probably not even playing anything meta anyways. I looked at the extra deck. But yeah, it wasn't a stacked deck. It was just, it doesn't really matter that the guy's not playing meta, so to speak. And I was like, wow, those bad draws, and the guy draws triple Destiny board, and this is what makes this deck super amazing. You can actually finish off your opponent really quick. This is the new, like, final countdown, I want to say. It's the new, like, fan favorite for the trolls. They will love this deck just to freaking make you frustrated, because look at this, guys. You can actually proc Destiny board's effect multiple times, and look, he's got F-I-N-A. So even though it doesn't have to be spelled correctly, you do have to special summon them in the correct order, though. Caius effect negated by that skill drain, but nonetheless, you're able to actually battle fader and get the effect of that, and then if obviously he gets heads, you're good to go, get to negate the attack, and he goes ahead and spells out final. So if you open up with multiple pieces of Destiny board, you can actually finish off your opponent really fast. Obviously with 3, that's not going to happen too often, but it is something that can happen. But that field spell card is one of the more annoying cards to run into, just because it has that ability not only to negate the attack, but then your opponent takes damage. So I want to say you might be able to stall and burn your opponent. I mean, Dark Sanctuary, if your opponent is playing a bunch of life points, they pay 8, pay 8, pay 8, or they activate Solemn Warnings, or like a lot of other cards that have, pay life points or take damage, or they soul charge for a bunch of cards, you can actually make it so they don't want to attack you without getting rid of Dark Sanctuary first, because this card, it's pretty dirty. Let's go ahead and go over the full effect of this if you guys haven't seen me talk about this card already. Let's go ahead and just go over it, because I'll be playing these replays so you guys can kind of see it in action against a lot of different decks. Because Blue Eyes has been doing good in the OCG. They actually had some tournaments where you can only use Blue Eyes, which I thought was kind of cool. That way it just added a little bit more, well, I was going to say added more unique decks, but technically, I mean, it's all Blue Eyes, but there is technically different versions of the deck, with the new Chaos Max Dragon. The movie coming out, I think a lot of players will be excited to try out this deck. Even though it won't be necessarily the most meta of things, I think a lot of players will be running it. So you just have to be prepared to, you know, not run something that's going to have like 0 defense, because that Chaos Max does piercing and is double and it's 4,000, so if you got a 0, you're going to get one-shotted. But these can't be targeted for attacks. Even if this card leaves the field, they just, I guess, have this like lingering effect, so to speak. So you can see, not all the time is he getting it on heads, but he actually got rid of Dark Sanctuary, and then also he got rid of Destiny Board, but the other cards are still here. So again, it really helps out because those cards aren't going away. Let's go ahead and read Destiny Board's full effect here. So at the end of each of your opponent's turn, you get to place one Spirit Message from your hand or your deck face up on the field. If you control the Spirit Message cards I-A-N-L, so it spells out final, or if you're playing the OCG, they spell out as death. In the proper order, you win the duel. If any Spirit Message or Destiny Board card you control is removed from the field, all Spirit Message card and Destiny Board you control are sent to the graveyard. So I'm not sure if this is like bugged right now. I thought these would have went away, but because of this, apparently they say, I don't know, translation issue, but it does say the Destiny Board, where is it? It's unaffected by other card effects except for Destiny Board, but that is Destiny Board. So again, I don't know if that's just a glitch, because if this is not a glitch, then this is looking actually pretty dang good over here. Now this duel over here is going to show you guys like how you can game your opponent essentially by that field spell. It's just one of the more nasty things to run into, and there's a lot of different builds that will be showing off in some of these duels. Heck, you can run Crush Card Virus in it, because all of them are technically targets for Crush Card. Plus there's the Cat of Ill Omen, which I think some players will try it out. It just lets you put Destiny Board to the top of your deck, or I guess, you know, whatever card you want, I guess Reckless Greeds, whatever the case may be. But you got Skill Drains, like that's another great trap. Like the deck relies heavily off of traps. And again, remember guys, in the OCG they have Harpy's Feather Duster. We don't have that, so that can be something that you guys can take into consideration. We don't have Heavy Storm either, so this is looking to be pretty nasty just to run into, and you're just like not prepared for, you know, the deck, because it's a pretty good deck. You know, if you don't happen to have the answers to it, you know, relatively quick, you're going to be on a timer. Look, he's already got F-I-A or F-I-N, and he just needs A and L to finish off his combo, and that's going to be happening in 2 turns. So basically, it forces your opponent to play very, very aggressive. And in addition to that, you have the ability to protect yourself with Dark Sanctuary, and you can game your opponent every single time. You're like, nope, gonna negate. So now the guy has to finish him off, like at this point, because he's got F-I-N-A, and he just needs the L in its game. So he has to finish him off this turn, and it's not gonna happen because he keeps on flipping up the coins, causing him to take damage. So look, he's ahead of them. He's ahead of his opponent, even though he activated Skill Drain over here and paid 1,000 life points. So it puts your opponent essentially on a timer. Now, here's this guy's extra deck, because I checked out these duels earlier, so I can, you know, kind of preview them, make sure that they are like good for you guys to show off just different versions of the way you can play the deck. Because this guy's got Messenger of Peace. That's already a target that needs to go away relatively soon, because this guy didn't have a Castell, because, you know, keep in mind guys, some decks, like, they only like making certain things. Some people will drop Castell because they need to run very specific things. They need an out to some of the Raid Raptor cards, and at that point that's at least 2 cards in your extra deck. And sometimes some decks, they don't have access to too many rank 4s, so they might just go ahead and just drop Castell, or they'll drop certain cards that, you know, are really, really useful, but against certain decks they just don't have the option to do it. So he couldn't bounce back anything, so he lost relatively fast. When you have double Destiny Boards, that's already F, so that means you're going to be able to throw out 2, and then next turn you need to throw out another 2, and this one counts as the first one. So at that point your opponent has to finish you off really, really fast. I know a lot of decks, they can play relatively aggressive, really quick, but not every deck has access to that. You know, Monarchs are not a deck that can necessarily OTK that often. Yeah, they have a lot of draw power, they have searchability, they have a lot of great cards, but sometimes they just can't finish you off super fast. Now, I want to say Destiny Board almost supports Pendulums, because Pendulums are an all-in, like, go-ham deck, and if you play a slower deck, you're just going to lose the final. So not only are we getting this, like, you know, older support, so to speak, but it also encourages you guys to, again, Pendulums, because that's, you know, the new thing right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pendulums are kind of being promoted a lot harder, I would say, than other decks. I know they took a big nerf, and Cosmos are being pushed relatively hard, but we all know eventually on the ban list they're going to get hit and rip and pepperoni your Cosmo deck. But then, you know, we have newer decks to play, and in addition, like I said, Destiny Board can be really nasty to run into. If you don't got those MSTs ready, you're gonna lose relatively quick. But here's the thing, guys: if you side deck Denko Sekkas in, you're gonna be good to go, because if you Denko Sekka them and they don't have their card face up already, they're gonna lose really fast. Because like I said, guys, Crush Card can be a target because Dark Sanctuary is summons that monster. It's level 1 and it's dark and it's got 0 attack. Crush Card, we'll go over its effect just because, some players maybe they don't know about this card, and, you guys can still watch the gameplay while it's going off. So you tribute a dark monster control with 1,000 or less attack, and you get to check all your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and destroy all monsters with 1,500 or more attack. Then your opponent can destroy up to 3 monsters with 15 or more from their deck. That is technically a downside because your opponent gets to decide, which I think is kind of dumb. It's your card, you should be able to decide. And then all damage your opponent takes until the end of the next turn becomes 0. You're not really looking to deal damage anyways, and this guy's playing like I would say this is more of a cheese deck as well. You see the extra net over here from Monster Special Summon from the extra deck. The opponent of the player that connected the special summon can apply this effect. You can draw a card. So it's kind of like, I almost want to say it's like a chicken race, because like chicken race kind of got hit. So some players don't want to. They don't have access to their troll decks, and I feel like extra net, it could be useful because you play the terraformings, and then like you don't have anything else to search out for, right? But with extra net, you have an extra card that you can maybe draw off of with terraforming. So I just want to share off these different builds and some of these different cards. So thanks, Mr. Band12345, for this awesome replay. But overall, I think that you guys get the picture, and this is against, I think, more so meta deck, so to speak. It's got that Dante's for days, man. The Dante.deck, got a special, gotta make the Dante, gotta send the cards. But I just want to show you guys it is viable. This is really the only meta duel that we have here, but I just wanted to get a lot of variety in for you guys. Some decks, like I mentioned before, they can play really aggressive and finish you off kind of fast. Like, for example, Cosmos. That deck can finish you off kind of fast. But the thing is, if Farm Girl doesn't get that attack in, you're going to be kind of at a disadvantage. Like if you go E-Tele Farm Girl attack, oh sorry, that your Farm Girl didn't do damage, no searching for you. So you can look at it and say that, yeah, it's a 50-50 chance, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's a 50-50 chance. And I don't think that the players playing this are looking to necessarily be the best deck. I think they're just interested in trolling. And that's something that, Konami kind of keeps up with. Like Chicken Race, Pseudo Space, Monarch, FTK. We've had these decks come back and again, even though, like, we nerfed the stuff, but we're going to bring it back in another way. So, all you troll players, I guess you'll be happy to see that you can troll once again. Instead of, like, the Monarch, FTK, if you want to make your opponent salty. I feel like this deck over here can definitely make your opponent salty and make them just quit the game. If you, activate something like Metro Piece, Destiny Board, they don't have a card to go for, you just go ahead and say, like, you got 1 turn, can you do it? And right now he does have that Raigeki though. That thing can kind of mess up stuff, but then the Dark Sanctuary is activated, so sorry man, unaffected by that Raigeki. He goes ahead and Dark Halls. There's really no point. Maybe he didn't realize it, He goes ahead and makes the Acid Golem, gonna go ahead and attack, and he calls it heads, and it saves the day. Again, that 50-50 chance, and then he wins with the final. So you guys can see how good this deck can be. If you guys know any other combos, like I said, Crush Card was pretty cool. That Extra Net was kind of cool because it's another card for terraforming to search out. You want to deck them relatively fast. The Cat of the older card, but again, you guys can see it is looking kind of viable. It is a 50-50 chance, but 50-50 chance in a YCS when you still lose to it, it's going to be relevant. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap, or maybe a not titty slap because you're going to be upset that this is going to be kind of meta. Or just, you're going to see it. I just don't want to run into this deck. I know I'm going to cringe when I play against this, and he goes, Measure P, skill drain, you can't attack, and it's just going to make you want to flip the table. But anyways, that's something you guys are going to have to watch out for. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It's been Will Smith, signing out.